Hey everyone, Jane here from Mrs. Red's Art Room. I have remembered to actually record myself doing a Patreon sketchbook satchel session. I do this once a month on Patreon. It's a free class, so you just need to register on the Mrs. Red's Art Room Patreon page to participate. It will always be held on an Australian weekend, and I am in Queensland in Australia. So we don't get daylight saving up in Queensland. So just if you are watching this from anywhere else in the world, know that the time zone is always Queensland time zone. And this session runs for 90 minutes of drawing, and then everyone just shows their work who wants to. So it's held over Zoom. We start with 5-minute drawings, then go to a couple of 10-minute drawings, a 15-minute drawing, one 30-minute drawing, and then we do another 10-minute drawing at the end. So it's a really nice way to be able to warm up and just chat as well as you're drawing. The time goes so fast. Like the fact that we're drawing for 90 minutes sounds really long, but it just goes so fast. So this month is all about Halloween. So some not so scary Halloween images, and these are the 5-minute drawings that I'm doing now. So, like I said, you can be any age, you can live anywhere in the world. If you want to be a paying member of my Patreon, you actually get the recording of these. So you can do them in your own time if you want to. But if you're just a free member, you participate live when I do them. This was 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. And I'm into the very ugly. I loved my first image, but this one is terrible, and I run out of time because it's 5-minute sketch. So I've got the images for you to see as well, except for the last image. So the last 10-minute image was the one that I actually found on Canva. On the screen while we're doing this is a Canva file. With all the images, with the times, etc. So it's all very organized. I organized the images so I know what time. Sometimes I will have multiple 30-minute images, and we decide right then and there which one it is that we're choosing. And I've also done one where I've put up 2 images, and you can choose which one you want to do for that 30-minute sketch. Again, this one's a bit ugly. So what I did with my paper, the background that you can see with that grey and reddy orange background that I put in, that is Brusho. If you are not familiar with Brusho, it is a pigment watercolour powder, and you can apply it to a dry page and then put I can hear I'm going to have to just pause it because I can hear my oven going off. Just one moment. Okay, I'm back again. So my oven was going off for dinner, and I can't believe that 30 minutes went so fast. It's just like when we're drawing. So the Brusho, it is watercolour pigment. You can apply it by sprinkling it onto your page and then using water to dissolve it in. Or you can do how I did. I sprayed the page first, and I did it outside, and it was really windy, so that's why you can see that it's all sort of like going at one angle. And I used grey and orange. So the orange you can see is that red blending out to yellow, and the grey looks, from what I can see, fairly just one colour, but it's actually got some orange in it as well. All the pigments, the colour that they are in powder form is not necessarily how they're going to actually come out once they hit water, once they're activated by water. So it makes for a very unique image, or I don't know if image is the right word, but when you put it down, every time you're making marks with it, it's a very unique, it will never look the same regardless of if you use the same colour over and over again. So what I did is I put it down, and then as soon as I put the grey down, I thought, oh, it's very dark. So that kind of changed what materials I was going to be using with for this sketchbook hour. And I would normally go from coloured pencil and then put like a watercolour wash down, but given that my background was all of a sudden quite dark in patches anyway, I thought I would get all my ink pens out. So here I've been using just the Tombos, and then I realised that I'm only using the Tombow markers. So I think the next sketch I start in, I use my ink, I use my drawing ink with my glass dip pen. So once I start using that, you'll see what I mean by that. So that scarecrow image was 10 minutes. No, I'm not going to start using it yet. I actually use a bit of pastel in this one. So this amazing decoration of the massive spider on the wall. The pen that I'm using right now is a calligraphy ink. Okay, so yeah, the pen that I'm using is a calligraphy pen, and if you apply water to it, it will be, it's not waterproof. Calligraphy ink is not waterproof. So the ink that I'm using with my glass dip pen is acrylic ink. So no, well, it does have some water, it will water down if you put water to it, but you can't put acrylic ink into a calligraphy pen because it has binder in it and it will just stuff up your calligraphy pen. That calligraphy pen, it doesn't look like a calligraphy pen, it's a Tom Studio pen. If you've heard of Tom Studio, he's a UK guy who came up with this beautiful pen, very expensive. And I can switch the nibs over as well. So I've got the brush nib in it at the moment, but I can go from something like a 0.03 nib right up to a 8 nib, and then there's the brush pen. It's got a chisel pen to it as well, chisel point. So now I am using my pan pastel, which I'm using in my 30-minute image. So yeah, this one's very, very much a mixed media. The book that I'm in is a A3 sketchbook that is cartridge paper. So it doesn't really take too much wash to it. Like you can put a little bit of wash to it, but it's not, like if I was to put watercolour on it, it kind of just soaks straight in rather than do what watercolour is meant to do and blend and sit and have all the tide lines. I call them tide lines, but I think they're called cauliflower lines. So yeah, that's the brusho. I don't use it a lot, and they're little pots. They're tiny little pots, but I think it's going to take me a lifetime to get through them. So that's another reason why I actually have used it today, because I'm trying to be conscious that I need to use my art supplies more. Here we go. I'm using the dip pen now. I have a lot of art supplies. Obviously, I'm an art teacher and I have accounts for my art supplies. And I love using mixed media. So even though this sketchbook is not really designed to take wet media, You can get away with a little wash here and there with it. Yeah, so this dip pen, I'm using Liquitex acrylic ink. Beautiful inks. I don't do enough with ink, so actually I remember when I was setting up for this class, I have got, you can see off to the right hand side, you've got some brushes there. I actually got them ready to actually dip my brushes into the ink as well, and I never got there, never did it. So I've got plenty of inks, I've got plenty of pastels, marker pens, Tombos. Oh, I've got so much of everything. So it's really nice for me to sit down at home and actually use materials that I wouldn't use on a daily basis or take with me when I go away. If I'm urban sketching or sketching in any of my art classes that I run here on the Gold Coast, none of that stuff comes with me. It's always a limited pencil case of supplies that I'll take with me. So very nice to be able to use all of this stuff with me today in this. So I think I've rattled on long enough now. I don't know what time we're up to. I'm just having to look at my own recording here. Okay, so I'm about halfway through. So I might throw it over to a little bit of music for the rest of this. I've increased the speed of this up to 400%. So I'm not going to put up the times that we had for these, but this one is the 15-minute one. And then we go to the 30-minute and then go back to a 10-minute. And remember, there's no image for the 10-minute because I took it off Canva. All these images I took from Pinterest. Pinterest is a great source of inspiration and images as well to be able to draw. Okay, enjoy this, and yeah, if you're interested, please register over on my Patreon channel. You can do so for free and attend one of my online drawing classes. I do these ones once a month, and I do two on a Thursday night, again Queensland time, and that is called Sketchbook Hour. So it's one image for 1 hour and you do what you like with it in that hour. All right, stop rabbiting on. Okay, enjoy the rest of the video and leave any questions for me, and please remember to like and subscribe. Got to get that in. All right, thanks, bye.